Hey everyone, I'm Blue. This is Easy. You want to say hi, Easy? And I'm main Feral Druid. I've been exclusively playing Druid class since Legion, and I fell in love with it, especially Feral. I currently have a Feral Druid YouTube channel where I go over the ins and outs of Feral, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. For this video, I want to go over the basics of Feral for those of you who may be interested in making Feral your new alt, or possibly maining it in the future. So without further ado, let's check out what Feral has to offer. One of the very first things to be said, and of course is probably on everyone's minds, is Feral Druid is the underdog spec in World of Warcraft. Now, there are many reasons why that is the case, and we'll be covering those later on, but the biggest reason is that Feral Druid has one of the most difficult rotations and sometimes can be quite awkward for newer players. Now, the reason that I say this first, because the real reason that I play and love this spec is because to me it is the most rewarding class in the game. Feral Druid has a high skill curve for time investment and for class understanding, and I feel that not only do you feel rewarded playing the class, but as well, you'll be recognized by others for playing it well. So, if you're like me, and you like a challenge, and you like making all the other DPS feel like crap when you're topping the meters, then welcome, because Feral is for you. Now, some of you might like just being a BA cat, and honestly, I don't blame you, because it's awesome. Prowling around stealth, shredding the crap out of someone, and running away super fast while the enemy is trying to chase you while bleeding to death? Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Basically, I could honestly go on and on, but when it comes down to it, the class is really just a lot of fun. The rotation will keep you interested, and there is always something to learn and grow while playing the class. Now, in case you're wondering, Feral is absolutely amazing at PvP and arenas, but you might not know how Feral is performing in raids or dungeons. Currently, Feral is actually middle of the pack as far as melee damage dealers in a raid environment. Of course, a Fury Warrior, Havoc Demon Hunter, or Rogue of the same skill level and gear will most likely be doing more damage than you, but hopefully Ferals will be able to separate ourselves a little better from the rest of the pack next patch. Especially because Feral is an extremely crit favored class, and with the new corruption of increasing the damage of our crits, I think Feral will be able to rise up, especially amongst those other classes that don't rely as heavily as on crit. As far as dungeons go, Feral actually performs extremely well, especially when looking at overall damage. A lot of this comes from our best in slot Azerite traits. As Feral, your best in slot traits for single target damage is for the most part exactly the same as your best in slots for AoE. This makes Feral extremely strong in dungeons, and especially higher keys when DPS will start to change their traits and talents to be more AoE or single target focus. Ferals, like other specs, can also change their talents to be more AoE or single target as well, but its counterpart won't be as hindered as much as other classes because, like we said, the Azerite traits will help out both. It is also worth mentioning that regrowth is part of a Feral rotation, and when mastered can be used every 5 to 8 seconds on a member that may be low or close to dying. Although we're not going to be topping the healing meters, this will help bring a bit of a cushion to helping out any healer, especially when our regrowths generally are able to heal about 10% missing health. Of course, Feral is not that golden spec in dungeons, and I'm not going to act like it is. Feral does provide a lot of damage, but of course it does lack utility and buffs that some other specs may bring to the team. With that said, the future of Feral does look good, especially with the upcoming changes and the addition of Vortex that will be added to their utility in the next expansion. If you're not aware, Feral Druid is an energy-based class, so generally that means we're not just smashing our abilities off cooldown, and there needs to be at least a little bit of thought that goes into each ability pressed. Luckily for you all, it's the end of the expansion, and pooling our energy or waiting before we press a specific spell is becoming less and less of a thing. But still, for some occasions, it does apply. We are also a combo point class, which means that we use our abilities to build up combo points to let us use other abilities of greater strength. So that means we actually don't have any cooldowns on any of our damaging abilities, and more depend on getting through our rotation faster to do more damage. With that said, there is not one ability that Feral has or one button to press that is going to automatically do a crap ton of damage. Instead, all of our major cooldowns will affect our ability to go through our rotation faster, either by granting more energy or by making our damaging spells cost less energy. So when other classes just have to worry about when they press their big cooldowns or how many mobs they hit their big cooldowns with, Feral will actually have to work through their rotations for their damage to increase. So let's go ahead and check out some of their abilities. We have 3 bleeds that we'll need to keep up on your main target. Rake, which is a really strong bleed that also reduces the target's movement speed by 20%. Thrash, an AoE weak bleed, but will also improve the damage of our other abilities. And Rip, which is your strongest bleed as a combo point spender ability. We also have Shred, which is just a strong attack that is used to increase combo points when no bleeds need to be reapplied. Swipe is Shred's copy, but just for AoE situations. And of course, our big source of damage with Bite as our second combo point spender ability. We also have cooldowns like Tiger's Fury, which will instantly regenerate 50 energy and increase damage during its duration. And Berserk, which will also instantly regenerate 20 energy and as well will reduce the cost of abilities by 40% during its buff duration. So after all that is said, and you're currently still possibly interested in playing a cat, I'd have to say you may start wanting to work on your essences. Ferals have quite a few good traits that are useful for different content, but mostly you will see the majors being Condensed Life Force, Blood of the Enemy, and Focusing Iris. Our minors don't change very often, and we will be using Memory of the Lucid Dreams and Conflict and Strife. I would have to say that overall takeaway with playing a Feral Druid is playing a class that requires a bit more work than other classes. I think that the work invested, though, is worth the while because Feral Druid is an extremely enjoyable class to play in any type of content. It is a class that will keep you interested, a class that will make you think and eager to progress and learn more, and a class that is extremely rewarding to play because, of course, you are the underdog. Thanks so much for watching the video. Please leave a comment, and if you liked the video, go ahead and smash that thumbs up. If you're interested in making a really good decision and want to play Feral in the future, go ahead and subscribe. I'll walk you through everything you need to know about playing the class. Take it easy, everyone. Peace.